Thank you for the introduction. So 5 years ago, I was sitting in a dinner table with my mother and brother, like we do every few weeks or so. And my mother served her famous marinated chicken wings, and I was thrilled and happy like a good Jewish boy. But my brother suddenly said, "I'm not eating this anymore." And I'm like, "What?" And he said, "Yes, I've sent you this guy's talk, you should watch it. I'm not eating meat anymore, I'm not taking part in these cruel industries anymore." Okay, another crazy thing by my brother. 2 months later, I'm in an Irish pub celebrating birthday for a friend of mine. I haven't seen him for 2 months, and suddenly I hear him say to the waitress, "Can you please check if this onion ring starter have eggs in it?" And this is how I was informed that Ohad, our big guy in the gang, who was always in charge of the barbecue, has become vegan. So now it's not only my brother's new thing, crazy thing, it's also my friend's thing. And I had to check it out. I went to and looked for that talk that my brother sent me. I saw that title, "The Best Speech You Will Ever Hear." Come on, right? But I knew that immediately something is going to change. I watched that talk, I listened, and I decided also to try veganism for 30 days. Back then, I told about that to my girlfriend, and this is how she reacted. And I became vegan and lost my girlfriend. Now, I'm just kidding. We got separated from other reasons. She had a side thing with a meat eater. I'm just kidding too. But this is my story back in 2011. And this is also the story of many Israel activists who became vegan in the last 4 years and decided to do something about it and become active. Omri Paz founded the vegan-friendly nonprofit aiming to put veganism in mainstream in Israel. And Ori Shavit, as a food critic and a journalist, she opened her blog, Vegan Girls Have More Fun. The URL is vegansontop.com. And she documented her change to veganism as a food critic. She did a lot of restaurant outreach. She's also touring now for the third time in the US, talking about the compassion revolution in Israel and why many people in Israel stopped eating animals. And these are just two examples. And obviously the new activists that flooded the movement, the somewhat successful movement already, we were much more, we brought a lot of new energies. We wanted to put veganism on mainstream and to reach out the public as much as we can. And I want to tell you some stories about Israel, about what's happening there. And let's go through them. First of all, the undercover investigation reception in Israel and response is very good. Anonymous for Animal Rights is the leading organization in that field. And we're actually now fearing exhaustion of this subject in the media because already in the in recent year, just this year we had 8 items on news media channels and newspapers. Also, on the other hand, food blogs and recipes really became popular in Hebrew. We have a recipe now for every dish, for every holiday, a vegan omelet, vegan pizza, cake, whatever. So things got really easy in the kitchen too. And if we're going outside, so restaurants today, many restaurants have a vegan-friendly sign on their window at their entrance, and they're also listed in the index of vegan-friendly website that they have vegan options. And the restaurant outreach was so successful that also Domino's Pizza has introduced the vegan pizza, first ever in the world in Domino's Pizza. We persuaded them that it will be beneficial for them, that the response in the Israeli public would be great, and it did. It was really successful that now Domino's Pizza has introduced many more pastries that are vegan. So this is really huge. A couple of months ago, I was sitting in a restaurant with my girlfriend, And this is a restaurant that has like a chain of 20 locations in all Israel. And the first page in the menu was this: the vegan way. Enjoy your vegan shawarma. So now they are introducing and promoting their new entree, which is vegan. This is really, really great and important. Tel Aviv today now has more than 20 100% vegan restaurants. And no wonder that the world's best vegetarian food is in Tel Aviv. Or the Daily Meal that declared that the best destination for vegan travelers is Tel Aviv. And not even in Tel Aviv, but also in all Israel, we have more than 400 places, restaurants, from high-end restaurants, gourmet, to small places which are vegan friendly. This is really huge. Another really great story is about Nana Schreier, the owner of the stylish Georgian restaurant in downtown Tel Aviv. You can see the article that covered that story, that in the land of milk and honey, Israel turned vegan. And Nana really shook the Israeli culinary world because she took out all the animal-based foods from the menu of the Georgian restaurant overnight. I want to read you a part of the article that said that Georgian-born Schreier was strongly advised not to convert her 14-year-old successful restaurant to vegan. My workers, accountant, lawyer, financial advisor, friends, and even my therapist said such a successful restaurant needs to be left alone. But I understood that I have the privilege to influence through the restaurant. We also certify vegan-friendly, or of course vegan products that are on the supermarket, and even leatherless shoes that are vegan. So shopping, again, became more easy for people who want to conduct a cruelty-free lifestyle. We also have the Go Vegan application, which is very similar to Happy Cow. It's an index of all the restaurants and vegan options around you, but it's just in Hebrew, and it's more local and available. I don't know how it is in European countries, but in Israel Independence Day, some people celebrate by going outside and barbecue, of course, with animal foods. So what we did in part with those events, we gave people alternative to celebrate in a different way, to celebrate vegan barbecue. And that sign over here that you're seeing says, we celebrate differently. So we gave the people the opportunity to experience vegan barbecue, vegan foods, and the response was really, really good. Many people arrived, families, friends, youth. It was really, really nice and empowering too. I also want to tell you about the Challenge 22 Plus program. It's a very successful program in Israel, and now it also has an English version. It gives people the opportunity to experience and try veganism for 22 days for free with social support, because they have a lot of people just like them in the Facebook group of the program. And it's providing support from professional nutritionists, experienced cooks, vegan moms, vegan athletes. So they're really surrounded with all that support system that provides them really easy time through that change that they are experiencing. 20,000 people have registered to this program in Israel already, and as I was saying, it has now an English version. A news media host named Miki Khaimovich left her job and decided to lead the Meatless Monday campaign in Israel. And it is very successful. She is doing it in cafeterias, in schools, and in many high-tech companies. This is me advocating for Meatless Monday in my university. I also want to mention, of course, some other organization, 269 Life. You might have heard about that organization. It did a lot of buzz worldwide. And they also always wanted to push the boundaries. They did a lot of demos and exhibitions, like branding exhibitions and putting the cows' heads on fountains in Tel Aviv. And really their goal was, of course, animal liberation, radicalization of the protest. Another organization is the Animal Liberation in Israel. And they're also doing a lot of civil disobedience. Their prominent activist did a great thing. She got into the Big Brother TV show. And you know, when I thought always about how we can broadcast animal rights material on prime time, I was thinking about hacking to TV channels and broadcasting Cowspiracy or Earthlings or something like that. But she did it really good from the inside. She got into the house and she talked profoundly and honestly about her change, about veganism, about the animals. And she really succeeded in convincing many ways in the house, convincing many people in the house to become vegan or think about it. And also, of course, all the viewers changed their attitude or became aware to the subject. And every time that the TV show was on every week, we hoped that she would stay in the house, right? So she would be able to keep and talk about veganism. We would never imagine that she would win and be the vegan winner of the Big Brother TV show. That was really a great kick to the movement in Israel. We also now have the Super Meat venture capital that is aiming to create the first ever cultured chicken meat, backed up by the Modern Agriculture Foundation, a non-profit. We also have a vegetarian president, but actually we're just lucky to have him. It is said that in Israel we have the most flattering poll says that we have 5% vegans and 8% vegetarians, probably the highest vegan per capita nation in the world. And among youth, as in all places, it's even bigger. 18% of youngsters are now declaring themselves vegans or vegetarians. And among girls, it's even higher. 1 out of 4 girls in Israel identifies herself as vegan and vegetarian. And this is also acknowledged in the Israeli armed forces. As you might have seen in the Atlantic, big in Israel, vegan soldiers. And the army has got that feedback and is obligated to provide vegan options to the soldiers, so it provided wool-less berets and leather-less shoes, and of course also vegan meals. And the recipe book that was just handed out a few months ago to all the base camps in Israel, you can see here, it's the recipe book and the title is Themed with Vegan Food. And it's not only just sending them recipes. Just a few days ago, my friend Arisha Vit came back from a workshop that she did and conducted with all the chefs and cooks in the Israeli base camps. And you know, sometimes I hear a lot of criticism about Israel, that we do a vegan wash, or how can we treat our neighbors that horribly and promote veganism. And to some extent, of course, I'm agreeing with those some of the critics. And I want to tell you about a march that I was a part in organization, the Vegan North March. What we did is to unite Jews and Arabs together, marching for animal rights. All the signs had Hebrew and Arab writings on them. And I want to show you a very inspiring to me video from that march.
في اليوم اللي راح نفهم إنه فيش ظلم واحد أسوأ من ظلم آخر بس بعدها راح ننجح نكسر كرباج الظلم. פעם ראשונה השילוב היהודי-ערבי למען בעלי חיים, וזו התחלה פנומנלית והיא תמשיך והיא תתחזק.
Yeah, so to me this was very exciting to see Jews, Muslims, Christians marching together, united for animal rights. It was very powerful. And I don't know if you noticed, but the speech also was one sentence in Hebrew and one sentence in Arab. All of that was, of course, intentioned. That was my girlfriend speaking there. Lucky me, right? Another march started 3 years ago when a guy opened a Facebook page for the greatest march for animal rights in Israel, and he brought together 5,000 people to the streets of Tel Aviv. 3 years after, we managed to bring more than 10,000 people. And for that march as well, I want to show you a quick video. These pictures to me are like making goosebumps and inspiring, and it was very exciting to attend that march. So every weekend in Israel, there is no such weekend with no activity. A meet-out table, handing vegan food samples, a demonstration, a march, or a coverage in the media about animals and about veganism. And I know what some of you are thinking. Veg fasts, demonstrations, marches, vegan certification. We know all that. Been there, done that. So why Israel? And why now? I want to point out some points that I thought about. Nothing is yet researched, but some observations can be made. First of all, let's talk about that talk that I watched. Two modest young activists from Israel translated that talk, and they never imagined the impact that it will have. Once they did two main things. First of all, they promote that talk by sending that talk to everyone, family members, friends, friends of friends. They did a lot of screenings, organizations, whatever they could reach out. And also they sent that talk to celebrities and cited their impression and posted it on the website of that talk. That talk was given by Gary Yourofsky, a controversial American animal rights activist who talks in many standards and criteria very in your face, kind of aggressive and very honestly and authentically. But to be honest, we Israelis, we like it honest. We like it authentic. You might have heard about the term chutzpah and how direct communication skills are high among Israelis. And I think that the ability to speak the truth in person also gives us the ability to listen and to react to that truth too. And growing up in Israel, we have grown up with the idea, with the perception that there are some foods that are okay for us to eat, and there are some foods that are not, whatever the reason is. And I'm talking about kosher. And kosher, of course, is a Jewish thing, and it's it's known worldwide. But in Israel, it's national, it's popular, it's supervised. Even if you're not Orthodox or really consider yourself Jewish, you know about it. And so growing up with that idea, it's nothing new to add some more restrictions to your diet. Whereas, in comparison, if I'll tell the European or the average American, you shouldn't have this or that for dinner or for breakfast, lunch, it's unacceptable, right? What are you talking about? You're taking away a freedom of mine. But again, growing up in that perception, I think, make it easier for us to accept that idea. And let us not forget, Israel is in the Mediterranean area. It's rich with grains, legumes, fruits, vegetables. It's the foundation of our kitchen, of our cuisine. We're familiar with plant-based foods. And Israel is very, very small. It's much smaller than Germany and, of course, than Italy. But what does it tell us? It tells us that ideas spread around very fast in Israel. We only have two big news channels and two big newspapers. So once you got an undercover investigation item to one of them, you probably got most of the public awareness. So it's really easy to reach out to the masses in Israel, and ideas spread around very fast. And last but not least, I want to mention the early vegan movement and animal rights movement in Israel. Let the Animals Live and Anonymous for Animal Rights did a lot of good job in preparing the ground. Already in 2003, foie gras was banned by law in Israel, and thank you. And it is illegal to produce, to manufacture foie gras, the force feeding of geese and ducks. And also circuses and rodeos that are that include wildlife animals are again prohibited by law. But what can we learn from Israel? What can we take from it and say, well, it worked there, maybe it can work elsewhere? So yes, the all or nothing message did work in Israel to some extent, in my humble opinion. Because 5% vegans and 8% vegetarian is really impressive, but it seems that it's not enough still to turn the wheel. And it's not the majority of the people. My personal assumption is that majority of the people needs another message or a just different message. And nowadays in Israel, we activists are looking for new strategies and new tactics to reach to the masses and to the majority of the people, to make higher impact. And I think that many reducitarians, vegetarians, and vegans in Israel chose that way because it really became easier to practice vegan lifestyle in Israel. Again, everything became easier, more simple. And again, Israel is small, and that means that everybody knows someone who is vegan, either a friend or a family member. And let us not forget that Israel is a young country, still dynamic in some ways. Some of the people are still looking for identity. There is more openness to new ideas. I invite you to come to Israel. It's a great hub of diverse activities and activists. And it's a really nice place to see about animal rights and to examine. And I'm sure that there is much more to come from there. Come and feel the energies, the atmosphere, and come taste the great taste of real hot hummus and falafel. And it's colorful. It's really colorful. The markets are nice and great and full with colors. And if you won't come, keep an eye on Israel. Not because of the bummering political situation, but because of the fast-growing movement of animal advocates wanting to make a better place for animals and humans, of course, and really make a better place for the animals, save as many animals as we can, and maybe even create the first ever vegan nation. Thank you. Thank you.